Testing. All right, we got Coach Curt Miller. We're going to have an opening statement, and then we'll go for the questions.
Disappointed, obviously, with the result, and just out of the gate in the first quarter, really dug ourselves a hole. I think we missed our first 7 or 8 shots, and I thought we had 2 or 3 wide open threes, and then missed some shots in the paint. Then offense sometimes affects your defense, and we just immediately dug ourselves a hole. Big credit to Dallas. I thought they played really hard. All the statistics that matter to both teams flipped from game 1 to game 2. Nearly half their points off of our turnovers. Very productive off our turnovers, and then we had a hard time keeping them off the offensive glass. Tierra McCowan off the offensive glass. So our first shot defense, when you go back and look statistically, not poor. We've had better, but certainly not poor. But now second chance points, and now everything is magnified. It just seemed like every time they got a offensive rebound, they scored either a putback or a wide open three, let alone off their turnovers. So again, as the game settled in, our first shot defense wasn't awful, but it was the intangibles. Because we couldn't get consecutive stops, we didn't find ourselves in transition. So they had more transition points, more second chance points. All those intangible stats flipped from game 1 to game 2.
Curt, you mentioned kind of the start of the game and missing all those shots and all of those stats and things like that, but did kind of something else seem off from the start of the game? Just what were you kind of seeing in terms of whether just energy or attitude or anything like that, especially as kind of that frustration started to mount in that first quarter?
No, nothing seemed off. It just we had trouble finding disruption tonight. They really, in this stretch of 6-2 and the second best record in the league in the month of August, they took care of the ball and valued the ball. We were able to turn them over in game 1 and find some disruption. They did not turn the ball over tonight. We couldn't find disruption. So then there's so much pressure to get stops. And if you're not in, therefore we're not getting out in transition off of turnovers. And then you rely so much on your defense then to complete possessions to get them to miss. And it didn't happen. So, again, credit. They really did a nice job taking care of the ball. And while we figured some things out, it's hard in the flow of the game to accomplish everything you want to accomplish.
And Tierra McCowan coming off the bench, is that something at all you were expecting? And then how did that, kind of change things in the game with, them going smaller?
No, the adjustment, obviously, Bree Jones didn't play 1 minute without Tierra McCowan on the floor. So every time that we put Bree Jones in, McCowan was going to be on the floor. That was the matchup. That was the decision they made. Now, Bree Jones still goes and scores 20 points. But that when we had JJ AT, they were going to play a certain post lineup. When we had JJ and Breezy, they were going to play McCowan. When we played AT and Breezy, they were going to play McCowan. It was really a simple strategy by both teams on what was going on.
Curt, now that you all face an elimination game on the road, you guys have been in elimination game situations before. How does the mindset shift to try and kind of recover from a tougher game today and to get back to what you guys did so well in, say, game 1 or at the end of the fourth quarter today?
Yeah, this is why you play series. This is why the coaches are excited about this type of format. As we know, winning and losing in this league is razor thin. You see the results around this league that teams can win and then lose and win, and that's how much parity there is in this league. As I stated going into this series, Dallas reminds me a lot of Chicago from last year. They're a 500 team that frankly has better than 500 talent, and one reason or the other, they got hot late in the year. One reason or another, they were only 500, but that is an elite, talented team that has top 4 talent in this league. So we knew this was going to be a very difficult series, and we're right to an elimination game, and not at all a surprise to people that really understand how much talent they have.
Yeah, Curt, I know you spoke last week about the things that you guys have had to overcome through the year that you thought would help you at this time. Now, having lost a chance to clinch here and having to get on a plane, go to Dallas, how do you expect your team will respond to that, particularly in the context of what they've been through all year?
Yeah, I think they're frustrated in that locker room, and there's self-accountability, there's peer accountability right now that if we could go jump it up right now, that group would want to play. And so it won't be easy on the road in front of a hostile crowd. It's loud in Dallas. But this is what playoff basketball is. And we look forward to being able to tip it up Wednesday.
Any other questions in the room? Jacqueline?
Just going back to disruption real quick, they moved the ball really well today compared to a couple days ago. You guys ended up with only 1 steal. Just what kind of adjustment do you think needs to be made to kind of force more disruption in the next one?
Yeah, we'll take a look at certain things and come out with a new game plan. But obviously, we were not able to disrupt them, and so we've got to try to find that. Again, that's what they did so well at the end of the year, and we've got to find ways. It's not easy. They have really, really talented guards, and but it's a turnover league. It's a turnover game. It's a make or miss league, and we missed too many shots.
And just for your own backcourt, you talked about backcourt efficiency and production being really important in the playoffs. Do you think it was just a bad shooting night for them, or what kind of adjustments need to be made there?
Yeah, obviously, I think, Courtney's an elite scorer. She missed some wide open shots early that, could have got us going, and the whole game flipped if those first few minutes and Courtney was getting open threes. I believe Natisha's one of the best shooters in the league, and if we get her open shots, she's going to make them. So we've got to step to the plate. It's no secret our guards through the years have heard the whispers that our guard efficiency has caused some playoff series losses, and I'll defend our guards all the time, but they hear those whispers. They're going to step up to the plate, and we'll give it our best shot on Wednesday.
Rafiq, go ahead.
This is Rafiq with Nothing But That Sports Talk. You guys had like a 32-13 fourth quarter. How do you plan to use that fourth quarter going into Game 3?
Yeah, I thought that was great momentum. I think, we heard how the crowd could have been if we could have gotten our crowd into it earlier, because they are a loud fan base. But proud of that second unit. They were in the fourth quarter. They're almost all a plus 19 across the board. They played hard. They played downhill. They played fast. They played fearless. Obviously, Dallas lost a little bit of focus with the big lead, but proud of that second unit. We left with some momentum and feeling better about ourselves with that quarter. But obviously, we were majorly in a hole.
Appreciate the insight. Good luck.
Any other questions for Coach? All right, thanks, Curt.
Thank you.